Have you ever wondered why peace feels so distant even when everything in life seems to be going well? Why, no matter how much we achieve or how carefully we build our lives, there's still an undercurrent of restlessness, a quiet ache for something more. For over 2,500 years, Buddhist teachings have illuminated a profound truth. The source of our suffering isn't the world around us. It's our relationship to it. We spend our days clinging to what we love, pushing away what we hate, and endlessly chasing the next moment that promises happiness. But the more we grasp, the more peace slips through our fingers. Imagine what it would feel like to step off that exhausting treadmill, to let go of the constant struggle and rest in a quiet, unshakable peace. Not because life is perfect, but because you've discovered a different way to live. Buddhism doesn't offer quick fixes or surface-level solutions. It offers something much more powerful, a path to liberation. Not from life's difficulties, but from the suffering we create around them. Today I want to share 10 of the most powerful Buddhist teachings that can guide you to that peace. Teachings that can help you loosen the grip of anxiety, quiet the storm of overthinking, and open your heart to life exactly as it is. Because peace isn't found by controlling life. It's found by understanding life. And that understanding has the power to change everything. Are you ready to explore it? Let's begin. Lesson 1. The nature of suffering. Dukkha, the gateway to freedom. In the heart of Buddhist philosophy lies a truth so fundamental, yet so often misunderstood. Life contains suffering. At first, this might sound bleak or pessimistic, but the Buddha wasn't trying to burden us with despair. He was offering a key to liberation. Because only when we confront suffering head-on, with unwavering honesty, can we begin to unravel its grip on our lives. The 3 layers of suffering Buddha describes suffering in 3 interconnected layers. Dukkha, obvious suffering, physical pain, illness, loss, and emotional distress. The unavoidable hardships of existence. Viparinama dukkha, suffering of change. The sorrow that comes from impermanence. The way even life's most beautiful moments slip through our fingers. Sankhara dukkha, all-pervasive suffering. The subtle existential restlessness that stems from clinging to the illusion of a fixed self in a constantly changing world. Imagine a person grasping at clouds, desperate to hold on to their shape. No matter how tightly they clutch, the clouds continue to shift and dissolve. Life is like this, endlessly flowing, never static. And our suffering arises not from life's impermanence, but from our refusal to let things flow. The second arrow, how we create our own pain. Buddha offered a powerful metaphor. The first arrow is life itself. Unavoidable pain, like aging, loss, and setbacks. The second arrow is optional. It's the mental anguish we create through resistance, judgment, and attachment to how we think life should be. If you break a leg, the physical pain is the first arrow. But if your mind spins with thoughts like, "Why me? This ruined everything," you fire a second arrow into yourself. The suffering multiplies, but only because of your reaction. The story of Kisagotami, finding freedom through shared suffering. There's a well-known Buddhist story that illustrates this truth. Kisagotami was a mother devastated by the death of her child. In her grief, she carried the small body through her village, begging for someone to bring her child back to life. People turned her away, thinking she'd lost her mind, until she reached the Buddha. Buddha told her he could help. But first, she must bring him a mustard seed from a household that had never known death. She knocked on countless doors, but every home had a story of loss, a parent, a sibling, a friend. Slowly, her heart softened. She realized suffering wasn't her burden alone. It was the nature of existence itself. She returned to the Buddha empty-handed, but with profound insight. Grief lessens when we understand we don't suffer in isolation. This is the first gift of dukkha, the discovery of our shared humanity. When we realize suffering is universal, our hearts open. Instead of being consumed by our own pain, we develop compassion, not just for ourselves, but for all beings. The teaching of Anicca. Why accepting impermanence sets us free. Buddhism teaches that everything in life is subject to Anicca, the law of impermanence. Our relationships, health, status, even the cells in our body, are in a constant state of flux. But this isn't a cause for despair. It's a doorway to freedom. Imagine if nothing ever changed. Growth would be impossible. Healing would never happen. A painful heartbreak would stretch out infinitely with no hope of relief. It's change that makes everything possible, including peace. The more we resist change, the more we suffer. But when we accept life's transient nature, something miraculous happens. We become fully present. If you know a flower will wilt, you cherish its beauty more deeply. If you understand a conversation might be your last with someone, you listen with your whole heart. Paradoxically, impermanence makes life more precious, not less. Lesson 2. Letting go of attachment, the root of inner peace. If suffering is the disease, attachment is the fuel that keeps the fire burning. Buddha taught that much of our suffering doesn't come from life itself, but from our relentless craving, our refusal to let life be what it is. We cling to people, possessions, identities, and outcomes, believing they will complete us. But everything in life is impermanent, and the tighter we hold on, the more painful it is when things inevitably change. It's like holding a rope that's burning our hands. The more we resist letting go, the deeper the burn. But the moment we release it, the pain begins to subside. The story of the golden bowl, learning to love without clinging. There's an old Buddhist parable about a monk who owned a beautiful golden bowl. He cared for it deeply, polishing it every day, until one morning he woke up and decided to give it away. When asked why, the monk replied, "I enjoyed the bowl's beauty, but I could feel my heart clinging to it. I wanted to be free. Now, whether the bowl is whole or broken, my peace remains untouched." The bowl symbolizes everything we cling to: relationships, material success, even our own self-image. Clinging creates fear of loss, of failure, of not being enough. But true love and freedom only arise when we can appreciate life without trying to possess it. Imagine if you could love someone fully without needing them to stay the same, or if you could pursue your dreams with passion without tying your self-worth to the outcome. This is the gift of letting go, the ability to engage with life wholeheartedly without being imprisoned by it. Understanding craving and aversion, the two sides of attachment, Buddha identified two primary forms of attachment that keep us trapped. Craving, tanha, the constant desire for pleasure, security, and validation. We chase things outside ourselves, hoping they will fill the void within. Aversion, dosa, the equally powerful urge to push away discomfort, pain, or anything that threatens our sense of self. We build walls, trying to shield ourselves from suffering, only to find the walls trap us inside. Both craving and aversion are like puppeteers, pulling the strings of our minds. But the more we observe these impulses with awareness, the weaker their hold becomes. The practice of non-attachment, finding freedom in every moment. Non-attachment doesn't mean rejecting life or becoming indifferent. It means living with an open heart, but without clinging to what is fleeting. One powerful practice to cultivate this is mindfulness. When we bring full presence to each moment, we start to see life's impermanence in real time. A flower wilting in the sun, a loved one's laughter fading into silence, a joyful feeling rising and falling like a wave. Instead of grasping, we learn to savor life as it is, knowing nothing lasts forever. And that's precisely what makes it beautiful. The ocean of the mind, watching thoughts without getting swept away. Imagine your mind as an ocean. Thoughts and emotions are like waves, constantly rising and falling. Some waves are small ripples, others crash like storms. When we're attached, we get caught in the waves. We mistake our thoughts for reality and let them toss us around. But through mindfulness, we discover something profound. We are not the waves. We are the ocean itself, vast, still, and untouched by passing storms. The more we anchor ourselves in this awareness, the less we suffer. Cravings lose their power. Fears dissolve like mist, and a quiet, unshakable peace emerges. The freedom of letting go. Buddha once said, "You only lose what you cling to." When we let go of attachment, we don't lose life's beauty. We experience it more fully. We stop chasing happiness like a distant prize and realize it was always available in the present moment. We become free, not because life stops changing, but because we stop demanding it to stay the same. And in that freedom, we discover a profound truth. The more we let go, the more we gain. Lesson 3. Embracing impermanence, finding peace in change. Everything you know, everything you love, everything you are, is constantly changing. This truth can be terrifying, or it can set you free. Buddhism teaches that impermanence, anicca, is not just a feature of life, but its very essence. Yet, so much of our suffering comes from resisting this reality. We want love to last forever, our bodies to never age, and happiness to stay unbroken. But life doesn't work that way. Seasons shift. People leave. Feelings fade. And the harder we cling, the more we suffer when life inevitably changes. But what if, instead of fighting impermanence, you could flow with it? What if accepting change wasn't a loss, but a doorway to freedom? The parable of the flowing river, seeing change as natural. Imagine a river, constantly moving, never the same from one moment to the next. The water that passes you by is never the same water again. You don't mourn the water as it flows past. You don't try to freeze the river in place. You simply watch it, appreciating the beauty of its movement. Life is that river. When we stop demanding that things stay the same, we start to see the magic in change. We understand that every moment is precious, precisely because it's fleeting. The flower is beautiful because it blooms and withers. Love is powerful because it can be lost. Your life is meaningful because it won't last forever. Impermanence doesn't steal life's beauty. It creates it. Understanding the illusion of permanence, why we suffer. Buddha taught that much of human suffering comes from ignorance, especially the illusion that things are stable. We build our identities on shifting sand. We tie our happiness to relationships, forgetting people change. We chase success, thinking it will bring lasting fulfillment. We avoid death, pretending we have endless time. But when life inevitably changes, we feel betrayed. We blame ourselves, others, or fate. All because we believe something false, that anything could last. But when we deeply accept impermanence, something radical happens. We stop expecting life to be different from what it is. We stop seeing change as a threat. And we start living with a tender, present awareness of life's fragility. The practice of impermanence, finding joy in the fleeting moment. The way to make peace with impermanence is not to think about it, but to experience it directly. Mindfulness meditation is a powerful tool for this. When you sit in silence, simply observing your breath and thoughts, you start to notice. Every inhale rises and falls. Every thought appears and fades. Every feeling swells and dissolves like a wave. This is life in miniature, constantly arising, changing, and disappearing. And when you truly witness this, you start to understand. Nothing lasts, and that's okay. You start savoring life more deeply, knowing each moment is a gift that won't come again. You love people more fiercely, not despite their impermanence, but because of it. Death as the ultimate teacher, the gift of mortality. Buddhism doesn't shy away from death. In fact, contemplating death is considered a powerful practice for awakening. It's not morbid. It's clarifying. When we remember our time is limited, we stop wasting it on petty grudges, mindless distractions, and chasing things that don't truly matter. We live with greater presence, gratitude, and compassion. We forgive more easily. We love more freely. Because we understand. The trouble is, you think you have time. Buddha. But when we face death head-on, life becomes more vibrant. Every sunrise, every laugh, every touch becomes sacred. Not because they'll last, but because they won't. The freedom of impermanence. Ironically, when we fully embrace the truth of change, we become more grounded. We no longer panic when life shifts. Because we expected it to. We stop grieving lost versions of ourselves. Because we never clung to them. We meet endings with grace, knowing every ending is also a beginning. Impermanence isn't a curse. It's the reason anything is precious at all. The more we align ourselves with this truth, the more we can relax into life's flow, trusting that even in loss and change there is beauty, growth, and endless opportunities for awakening. The path to true freedom. What if the thing holding you back was your need to hold on? In Buddhism, attachment is seen as one of the root causes of suffering. We cling to people, possessions, identities, and even ideas, hoping they'll give us lasting happiness. But the more tightly we grip, the more we suffer when life inevitably pulls things away. But here's the truth. Nothing truly belongs to you. Not your body, not your relationships, not even your thoughts or emotions. Everything is borrowed, temporarily passing through your life like clouds drifting across the sky. The tighter you try to grab the clouds, the more exhausted you become. But if you simply watch them, appreciating their fleeting beauty, you feel light, open, and at peace. The same is true for life itself. The illusion of ownership. Why we suffer? We suffer because we mistake impermanent things for permanent possessions. We say my partner as if they belong to us. We say my success as if status can never fade. We say my body as if it won't age and break down. But these things were never ours to begin with. Your loved ones are not objects to keep. They are souls on their own journey. Your achievements don't define you. They're temporary events, not your essence. Even your body is on loan. A vessel you'll eventually return to the earth. When we believe we own these things, we cling desperately to them. And when life naturally changes, we feel shattered, as if we've lost a part of ourselves. But in reality, nothing was lost, only returned. The monkey and the fist? How attachment traps you. There's a parable about hunters who catch monkeys by placing food inside a hollow coconut. The hole is just big enough for the monkey to slip its hand in, but too small to pull it out while holding the food. The monkey could be free at any moment, but it refuses to let go of the prize. And so, clinging to what it desires, it remains trapped. Are you holding on to something that's keeping you stuck? Maybe it's a past relationship, a dream that didn't come true, or a version of yourself you can't seem to release. Whatever it is you're suffering doesn't come from losing it. It comes from your refusal to let it go. Freedom is always available. You just have to open your hand. Non-attachment versus indifference. Loving without possession. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you detach from life like a cold, emotionless statue. Buddhist non-attachment isn't about indifference. It's about loving more freely. When you release the need to control, you can love people for who they are, not who you want them to be. When you stop clinging to success, you can enjoy your work for the joy of doing it, not just for the reward. When you stop fearing loss, you can savor every moment more deeply. Knowing its impermanence makes it even more precious. Non-attachment is not about rejecting life. It's about fully embracing it without trying to chain it down. The practice of letting go. Cultivating inner liberation. Letting go is not a one-time event. It's a daily practice. Each day you can gently notice where you're clinging and practice releasing it. Notice attachments. Where do you feel tightness, anxiety, or fear of loss? Question the illusion. Are you really in control of this? Was it ever truly yours? Breathe into release. With each exhale, visualize loosening your grip, like setting a bird free from your hands. The more you practice, the more you'll realize that true freedom comes not from holding life tighter, but from letting it flow. And as you let go, a profound peace will emerge. Because when you stop demanding life to be a certain way, you can finally experience it as it truly is. Raw, fleeting, and breathtakingly beautiful. Lesson 5. The power of mindfulness. Finding eternity in a single moment. Have you ever truly tasted your food? Not just chewed and swallowed, but felt the texture, the warmth, the subtle symphony of flavors dancing on your tongue? Or have you ever listened to the wind? Not as background noise, but as a living melody caressing the world. Most of us rush through life half asleep, lost in endless thought loops, carrying regrets from the past and anxieties about the future like heavy stones. But what if I told you that the key to peace, to joy, to liberation, is found in the simple act of being present? The miracle of now. Why, this moment is all you have. The Buddha taught that life only ever unfolds in the present moment. The past is a memory. The future is a fantasy. But the now is alive. It's real. Yet we live as if this moment is just a stepping stone to some better future. Constantly chasing the next achievement, the next relationship, the next version of ourselves. But when we do this, we miss the miracle happening right here. The feeling of your breath, gently rising and falling. The warmth of sunlight spilling through your window. The quiet heartbeat of existence pulsing with life in every direction. When you truly come back to the present, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Even washing the dishes can feel sacred when you're fully there, feeling the water, watching the bubbles shimmer like tiny worlds. Why search for heaven elsewhere when paradise is already beneath your feet? The monkey mind. Why we struggle to stay present. If living in the now is so powerful, why is it so hard? Because our minds are like wild monkeys, restless, impatient, always jumping from branch to branch. We cling to painful memories, replaying old wounds as if that will somehow change them. We daydream about the future, believing happiness lies somewhere other than here. We distract ourselves endlessly, scrolling, consuming, numbing, anything to avoid simply being. But the more we run from the present, the more lost we become. The monkey mind is not our enemy, though. It's just scared. It fears stillness because it doesn't know what it will find there. But if we gently guide it back again and again, it will begin to settle. And in that stillness, we discover something profound. The present moment is not empty. It's infinite. Mindfulness as a gateway to enlightenment. In Buddhism, mindfulness sati is more than just a relaxation technique. It's a path to awakening. When you cultivate presence, you start to see reality as it truly is. Impermanence. Watching your breath rise and fall, you realize that nothing stays the same. Everything changes, moment by moment, like waves on an endless sea. Interconnection. Tasting a piece of fruit, you can sense the entire universe in it. The sun, the rain, the soil, the countless beings who helped bring it to you. Emptiness of self. Observing your thoughts, you see that you are not them. You're the awareness behind them, vast, spacious, and free. With mindfulness, every moment becomes a teacher. Even suffering becomes a doorway to insight. When pain arises, instead of pushing it away, you can turn toward it with gentle awareness. This is suffering. Let me breathe with it. Let me see what it's here to teach me. And with time, you start to realize you are not trapped in your pain. You are the sky, and your emotions are just passing clouds. Simple practices to awaken presence. You don't need a monastery to practice mindfulness. You can start right now wherever you are. Here are a few simple practices to ground you in the now. Mindful breathing. Place your attention on your breath. Feel it flow in and out like a tide. When your mind wanders, gently return to your breath. Body scan meditation. Close your eyes and slowly move your attention through your body, feeling every sensation without judgment. Walking meditation. Take slow, deliberate steps. Feel your feet touching the earth. Notice the rhythm of your body moving through space. Mindful eating. Slow down. Taste each bite. Appreciate the nourishment, the flavors, the miracle of life, sustaining life. With practice, these small moments of awareness will ripple outward. Your life will start to feel less like a race and more like a dance. Because true peace isn't something you find out there. It's something you discover right here in the sacredness of this very moment. And the more present you become, the more life opens itself to you. Like a lotus flower, unfolding petal by petal, revealing the infinite beauty that was always there. Lesson 6. The art of letting go, freeing yourself from attachment. Imagine holding a rope that's burning your hand. The tighter you grip, the more it hurts. But still, you cling to it, afraid of what might happen if you let go. This is how most of us live. We cling to people, possessions, identities, and expectations as if they define us. We wrap our happiness around external things, hoping they'll stay forever. Even when deep down we know everything is temporary. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. Not because love or desire is wrong, but because we mistake impermanent things for permanent sources of happiness. And when they inevitably change or fade away, we break. Why we hold on? The illusion of control. Letting go feels terrifying because we crave certainty. We believe that if we hold on tightly enough to relationships, status, or even our pain, we can control life. But life is like a river. It flows whether we resist or not. Trying to control it is like trying to grasp water in your fist. The harder you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. The truth is, we don't suffer because things change. We suffer because we resist that change. When a relationship ends, we don't just feel pain. We feel the agony of trying to force something to last. When we fail, we don't just feel disappointment. We feel the weight of clinging to an idea of who we should be. But what if freedom isn't in holding tighter, but in loosening our grip? Non-attachment isn't indifference. It's love without chains. Many people misunderstand the Buddhist idea of non-attachment. It's not about withdrawing from life or suppressing emotions. It's about loving with an open hand instead of a clenched fist. Imagine holding a butterfly. If you crush it in your grasp, it dies. But if you let it rest gently on your palm, appreciating its beauty without needing to possess it, you experience true love. Non-attachment means loving people but not imprisoning them in your expectations. Enjoying life's pleasures, but not depending on them for your happiness. Pursuing goals, but not tying your self-worth to the outcome. It's a radical way to live, to care deeply, while knowing that nothing is truly yours to keep. But paradoxically, his freedom makes life more vivid. Because you stop living in fear of loss and start fully embracing each fleeting moment as the precious, impermanent gift that it is. The Empty Cup, a Zen story of release. There's a Zen story of a scholar who visited a monk to learn about enlightenment. The monk served him tea, but when the cup was full, he kept pouring. The tea spilled over, drenching the table. The scholar shouted, "Stop! The cup is full." The monk smiled and said, "Again and again, letting go of what we think we know, letting go of what we think we need, letting go of who we think we are." Practices to cultivate letting go isn't a one-time decision. It's a practice, a muscle we strengthen through awareness and compassion. Here are a few ways to start. Meditation on impermanence. Close your eyes. and contemplate the changing nature of everything. Your body, your thoughts, the world around you. Breathe with the truth that nothing lasts, and let that truth soften your heart. Releasing ritual, write down what you're holding on to, a past hurt, a fear, a false belief. Then burn the paper or release it into a river, symbolizing your willingness to let it go. Gratitude for the present every day. Consciously appreciate what you have, knowing it's temporary. Gratitude helps you savor life without clinging to it. Letting go isn't about losing everything. It's about gaining your freedom. It's realizing you don't have to carry the weight of the world on your back. You can put it down. You can breathe. You can trust that life flows exactly as it should. And your peace doesn't depend on controlling the current. When you truly let go, you discover that what remains is not emptiness. It's boundless space for love, for growth, for everything that's waiting to bloom within you. Lesson 7. The power of presence, finding freedom in the now. Imagine sitting in a garden, surrounded by blooming flowers and birds singing their morning songs. But instead of noticing the beauty around you, your mind is somewhere else, reliving a mistake from years ago or worrying about a future that hasn't arrived. Your body is in the garden, but your mind is lost in time. This is how most of us live. We miss life as it unfolds, trapped in the prison of our thoughts. The Buddha called this the monkey mind, a restless, jumping mind that clings to the past and grasps for the future, never settling in the present moment. But the present moment is all we truly have. Everything else is an illusion, the illusion of past and future. Think about this. When you remember the past, you're experiencing a thought, not the past itself. When you imagine the future, you're experiencing a mental projection, not the future itself. The only place where life is actually happening is here and now. Yet we sacrifice the present for illusions. Regret chains us to what can't be changed. Anxiety grips us with what may never happen. Distraction steals the magic of ordinary moments. And so we live in a constant state of mental time travel, missing the only moment we'll ever truly own. But what if we could break free? What if peace isn't something we chase, but something we access right now? Mindfulness, the gateway to liberation. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is the key to awakening. It's the simple yet profound practice of bringing your full attention to the present moment without judgment or resistance. It sounds easy, but it's life-changing. Because when you're fully present, worries lose their grip. Pain becomes less overwhelming. Joy blossoms in unexpected places. Even mundane moments become sacred. The warmth of your tea against your hands. The feeling of your breath rising and falling. The sound of raindrops tapping against your window. Presence reveals the beauty that was always there, hidden beneath the noise of your mind. The Zen Archer. A story of total presence. There's a Zen story of an archer who trained for years to perfect his shot. One day, his master blindfolded him and said, "Shoot the arrow." The archer panicked. Without seeing the target, how could he hit the mark? The master smiled and said, "The target is not the goal. Your presence in the act of shooting is the goal." The archer finally understood. It wasn't about hitting the bullseye. It was about being fully present with the bow, the string, and the breath. Life is the same. We're so obsessed with chasing distant targets that we forget to be here. But when we drop the obsession with outcomes and anchor ourselves in the moment, we discover that the act of living itself is the destination. Simple practices to return to the now presence isn't something we achieve once. It's a practice we return to over and over. Here are a few ways to cultivate it. Conscious breathing. Wherever you are, pause and focus on your breath. Feel the air entering and leaving your body. Let each inhale and exhale ground you in the present. Sensory awareness. Use your senses to connect with the world around you. Notice the textures, sounds, and scents of your environment as if you're experiencing them for the first time. Body scan meditation. Close your eyes and gently bring attention to each part of your body, noticing any sensations or tension. This practice brings you back into your physical presence. Lesson 8. Impermanence, embracing life's constant flow. Close your eyes for a moment. Think about the people, places, and moments that have shaped your life. Some bring warmth to your heart. Others may sting like an old wound. Now ask yourself, where are those moments now? Like sand slipping through your fingers, everything we experience eventually fades away. The seasons change. Our bodies age. Loved ones come and go. Nothing stays the same. And yet, we suffer because we resist this truth. But what if, instead of clinging, we could flow with life's impermanence? Anicca, the universal law of change. In Buddhism, the concept of anicca teaches that all conditioned things are transient. Every thought, every emotion, every aspect of existence is in constant motion. The flower blooms and withers. The sun rises and sets. Joy arises and fades. This endless cycle of arising and passing away is not a flaw in life. It is life. But instead of accepting this, we fight it. We try to freeze happy moments, terrified of losing them. We cling to people, possessions, and identities, fearing change. We resist difficult emotions, hoping they'll disappear faster. Yet the tighter we hold on, the more we suffer. Because impermanence isn't the enemy. Our attachment is the river of life, a story of letting go. Imagine standing in a river, watching the water flow by. Each droplet is a moment, a sensation, a part of your life. If you try to grab the water, it slips through your fingers. If you try to block the flow, the pressure overwhelms you. But if you simply watch the river, letting it pass without grasping or resisting, you experience peace. Life is the same. When we accept that everything flows, we stop fighting the current. We learn to appreciate each moment as it comes, knowing it's precious precisely because it won't last. Impermanence is freedom at first. Impermanence feels like a painful truth. But look closer. It's actually liberating. Pain fades. No matter how heavy your suffering feels, it's temporary. Even the deepest grief softens with time. Joy renews. Happiness may fade, but it also returns. Life continuously offers new moments of beauty. Growth is possible. Because nothing is fixed, we are never trapped. We can transform ourselves again and again. Imagine if everything was permanent. Every mistake, every heartbreak, every failure. Wouldn't that be far more unbearable than change? Impermanence gives life its rhythm. It allows for rebirth, forgiveness, and endless new beginnings. Living with the awareness of change, when we fully embrace impermanence, we live with greater presence and gratitude. We love more deeply, knowing our relationships are fleeting. We savor simple joys, aware they can't last forever. We forgive more easily, understanding that everything, including people's mistakes, is constantly shifting. The Buddha taught that seeing impermanence clearly dissolves attachment and fear. Because when you realize that everything is already slipping away, you stop clinging and start truly living. A practice to embrace impermanence: try this simple meditation. 1. Focus on your breath. Close your eyes and feel your breath moving in and out. 2. Observe change. Notice how each breath arises, lingers for a moment, and disappears like a tiny life cycle. 3. Basarmline. Expand your awareness. Reflect on how this pattern exists in everything: your emotions, your body, the world around you. Cultivate acceptance. As thoughts and feelings come and go, gently remind yourself, this too shall pass. The more you practice, the more you'll experience the deep peace that comes from flowing with life's natural rhythm. Because when you stop resisting change, you discover the profound truth that freedom lies in letting go. Lesson 9. Non-self, the illusion of I. Take a moment to ask yourself, who are you? Are you your name, your body, your thoughts, your memories? We often live as if we are a fixed, solid identity, a self we must protect and uphold. But what if this self is just an illusion? What if clinging to it is the very source of our suffering? Anatta, true. The truth of non-self in Buddhism, the teaching of anatta, tells us that there is no permanent unchanging self. What we call I is just a collection of constantly shifting elements. The body, always changing, aging, and decaying. Feelings rising and falling like waves in the ocean. Perceptions, shaped by past experiences, constantly evolving. Mental formations, thoughts and habits that flicker in and out of existence. Consciousness, a stream of awareness never the same from moment to moment. Like a river, you are a flow, not a fixed object. Yet, we suffer because we cling to the illusion of self. We feel attacked when someone insults us. We obsess over how others perceive us. We fear death, believing it's the end of me. But when you realize there is no solid self, everything shifts. You stop taking life so personally. You begin to loosen your grip on the need to control everything. The chariot analogy, understanding the self. The Buddha once used a powerful analogy. He asked, "What makes a chariot? Is it the wheels? The axle? The seat? None of these alone are the chariot. The chariot is just a label we give to a collection of parts. In the same way, you are just a label for the interconnected processes of body and mind. There's no single, independent entity inside you. Only ever-changing components. The freedom of letting go of the self. At first, this teaching may feel unsettling. If there's no self, then what are we? But look closely, and you'll see that non-self is not a void. It's freedom. Freedom from ego. You no longer need to defend or inflate an imaginary self. Freedom from judgment. You realize others' words and actions are just expressions of their own conditioning, not personal attacks. Freedom from fear. If the self is an illusion, what is there to fear losing? When we let go of the idea of I, we dissolve the boundaries that separate us from the world. We stop living as isolated beings and start experiencing life as an interconnected whole. A practice to experience non-self. Try this simple reflection. 1. Observe your thoughts. Sit in silence and watch your thoughts come and go. Ask yourself, who is thinking? 2. Gao. Scan your body. Notice how every part of your body is constantly changing. Sensations arise and fade. Cells die and regenerate. Where is the fixed self? 3. Why? Feel your connection to life. Look at nature. The trees, the sky, the animals. Realize that just like them, you are a fleeting manifestation of the universe, not separate from it. The deeper you understand this, the more your sense of self dissolves into a profound state of openness. You begin to live with greater compassion because you see that you are not separate from others. Their pain is your pain. Their joy is your joy. And in that realization, a quiet, unshakable peace emerges. The peace of knowing that you are everything and nothing at all. Lesson 10. Nirvana. Guide. The liberation beyond suffering. What is the ultimate goal of all spiritual practice? Is it happiness, peace, or something even deeper? In Buddhism, the highest realization is nirvana, the state of complete liberation from suffering. It's not a place or a distant paradise. It's a profound transformation of your inner world, a state where the flames of craving, aversion, and ignorance are extinguished. Nirvana means to extinguish, like blowing out a flame. But what is extinguished? The fires of attachment, the illusion of self, and the cycles of endless craving. The end of suffering. Imagine waking up one morning, and for the first time, Your mind is completely still. No anxieties, no regrets, no endless hunger for more. You walk through life fully present, unattached to outcomes, yet deeply compassionate. You love without clinging. You face loss without despair. You meet each moment with equanimity, not because you don't care, but because you see reality as it is. Impermanent, interconnected, and ultimately beyond your control. This is the peace of nirvana, Hadda. It's not an escape from life. It's waking up to life's true nature. The flame and the wind. An analogy for nirvana. Imagine your mind as a candle flame, flickering wildly in the wind of your desires and fears. Every craving, every attachment makes the flame dance more chaotically. But when you stop feeding the flame with fuel, when you stop clinging to what you can never control, the wind naturally dies down. And the flame, it gently goes out, not into darkness, but into spacious freedom. Nirvana is not annihilation. It's the realization that your suffering was never caused by life itself, but by your mind's resistance to life. When resistance fades, what's left? A vast, boundless peace. Living nirvana in daily life. The beauty of nirvana is that you don't have to wait for death or enlightenment to taste it. You can touch glimpses of it here and now in the smallest moments of your day. When you let go of a grudge and feel the weight lift from your chest. When you watch a sunset and, for a moment, dissolve into the beauty of the sky. When you face failure and realize you're still whole, even when things fall apart. Each of these moments is a spark of nirvana, a reminder that peace is always within reach when you stop grasping at life. The final realization: the Buddha didn't teach nirvana as an abstract concept. He taught it as a lived experience, a freedom you can cultivate through mindfulness, wisdom, and compassion. When you understand impermanence, you stop clinging. When you release the illusion of self, you stop fearing loss. When you practice loving kindness, you dissolve the barriers between you and others. And when you let go of craving, even for enlightenment itself, you finally discover the truth that was always here. You are already free. Nirvana isn't something you achieve. It's what remains when you let go of everything that isn't real. The journey doesn't end here. These 10 teachings are not just lessons. They are invitations. Invitations to step off the wheel of suffering, to walk the path of wisdom, not as an escape, but as a return to your true nature. Because peace isn't something you have to search for. It's who you are beneath all the noise. And every step you take toward letting go is a step into liberation. Would you like me to refine this conclusion, add a call to action, or expand even further? Let me know. I'm here to shape this into something truly powerful with you. Let's close this powerful journey with a call to action that inspires your viewers to take the first step toward inner peace. Your path to peace begins now. These teachings are not just ancient wisdom. They are a living guide for your life. You don't have to renounce the world or meditate in a cave to find peace. You can start right here, right now. Practice mindfulness in your smallest moments. Observe your cravings without judgment. Cultivate compassion even for people who challenge you. And most importantly, let go of the illusion that happiness lies somewhere outside of you. The Buddha once said, "No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path." So, what step will you take today? If these teachings resonated with you, if even one insight sparked something inside, don't let it fade. Commit to your inner work. Choose one habit to release, one practice to nurture, and start walking the path of liberation step by step. Like this video if it brought you value. Subscribe to join a community of seekers like you, and share this with someone who may be searching for peace. Because sometimes, all it takes is one spark of wisdom to ignite a lifetime of transformation. Your freedom is waiting. Will you reach for it?